So we're asked to subtract 4 minus 85 over 14. That is, we're subtracting a fraction from an integer. The first thing we want to do is we want to convert the integer into a fraction. So the very first step is we're going to rewrite 4 as 4 over 1. So now I have two fractions that I can work with. The second step, whenever you add or subtract fractions, is you have to find the least common denominator. So we need to acquire the least common denominator. That's the smallest number that both 14 and 1 both divide into. And that least common denominator is going to be 14. So that means we want to get both of the denominators equal to 14. To do this, I can take my first fraction, and to change 1 into 14, I'm going to have to multiply that bottom by 14. And if I do it to the denominator, I also have to do it to the numerator. Now in the second fraction, I already have a 14 as the denominator. I don't need to change it. If you like, you could multiply top and bottom by 1, but you don't need to really do anything to it. Once I know what my denominator has to be, I go about converting that first fraction. 4 times 14 is actually 56, so I have 56 over 1 times 14, which is 14. So I've now converted both fractions. Both fractions have this common denominator of 14. The last step is once I have the common denominator, I simply combine numerators and keep the denominator the same. So I'm going to write down I combine, meaning namely I add or subtract my numerators, but I'm going to keep my denominator, okay? So I'm going to add or subtract my numerators, but I'm going to keep the denominator. So I'm just jotting that down to keep that handy here. So as I go about this, I'm going to take 56 minus 85 over 14. So I'm going to combine my numerators, 56 minus 85, and I have 14 left over on the bottom. And let's now simplify that last step, which is we want to subtract 56 minus 85. And when we take 56 minus 85, we should get 29 over 14. Now, 56 is smaller than the negative 85, and so actually our answer is going to be negative 29 over 14. So 4 minus 85 over 14 is just negative 29 over 14.